justice,
no peace.
Resistance is justified.
Resistance is justified.
When people are occupied.
When people are occupied.
Resistance is justified.
Resistance is justified.
When people are occupied.
When people are occupied.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody.
Wa alaikum assalam.
My name is Fida Mohammed, and I'm here on behalf of the Palestinian American Community Center, which is based in Clifton, New Jersey. A group of us, thank you everyone. A group of us have come here today in support of our brothers and sisters in Palestine, and to say that we condemn any attacks on Palestinian, no matter how big or how small these attacks are, and we especially condemn these attacks when they happen while Palestinians are observing a religious holiday such as Ramadan. The video footage and photos of the violence that have taken place in the last couple of days are a disturbing reminder of the dehumanization that Palestinians are constantly subjected to, especially in the month of Ramadan. No one should have to live in fear of worshiping their religion or existing on their own land. We see and acknowledge that these attacks are part of Israel's greater settler colonial, racist, and Islamophobic control of Palestinian life in every way possible. Although Israeli forces attack Palestinian worshippers annually in the month of Ramadan, and to many this was unfortunately expected, we urge our community not to normalize this violence against Palestinians. As Israel's violence escalates and gets more extreme, our anger and vocalization against such incidents must get louder. We cannot let this incident be forgotten or normalized, and we cannot allow ourselves to become desensitized to such incidents. Normalization and desensitization only further allow the terrorism and brutality that Israel enacts on Palestinians to continue. Normalization does not only look like deals brokered by government officials, but it also exists internally in the ways that we do or do not respond to seeing Palestinians being beaten, attacked, and harassed. We ask our community to always be angered by any attacks on Palestinian people and to continue being upset by these attacks. Keep sharing the truth about what is happening in Al-Aqsa and Gaza and all of Palestine, whether on social media or through conversations with the people around us. Do not go back to normal life after this protest and wait for the next big attack on our people to be angered again. Our people in Palestine deserve better. So please, continue to protest, continue to be angry, and continue to educate those around you about what's going on in Palestine. There are many organizations that you can reach out to, learn from, and advocate with, and these organizations have all the tools in place to enact change. We just need more people to engage with these tools and with these organizations. Remember, the people have all the power. We just have to awaken the power in the people. As always, our hearts and minds are with the people of Palestine today and every day. We send our love and strength to them and to the youth who constantly make us proud and inspire us in their fearless resistance. We uplift and support Palestinian resistance no matter what, and we want to remind everyone that when people are occupied, resistance is always justified. I want everyone to say that with me. When people are occupied, resistance is always justified. Until freedom.
When people are occupied, resistance is justified.
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 Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Alright, we're gonna try this one more time. Okay, I'm gonna say it and then we're gonna do it together. It's gonna be morning, night, rain or shine. We will defend Palestine.
Morning.
Can we do it? Rain or shine. We will defend Palestine. Morning, night, rain or shine. We will defend Palestine. Morning, night, rain or shine. We will defend Palestine. Morning, night, rain or shine. We will defend Palestine. Morning, night, rain or shine. We will defend Palestine. Resistance is justified when people are occupied.
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 One Occupation no more!
Occupation no more!
5, 6, 7, 8!
5, 6, 7, 8!
Israel is a terrorist state!
Israel is a terrorist state!
Free! Free Palestine!
Free! Free Palestine!
Free! Free! Free Palestine!
Free! Free! Free Palestine!
Free! Free Palestine!
Free! Free Palestine!
Free! Free! Free Palestine!
Free! Free! Free Palestine!
Next, I would like to invite up to the stage, with us from Jenin, Palestine, Sireen.
Salam alaikum. Ramadan Mubarak. To all of you. I'm here not to introduce Sireen from Jenin. I want you to know Iyad Sawalha from Jenin. This is my brother. Iyad was arrested. This is the last time I saw him. I took this picture. 12 years old, proud to be a Palestinian, wearing all the time his sweaters made by my aunt of the Palestinian flag. He had spent 8 years in prison. He was released in 1999 with the Oslo Agreement. Within 2 years, in the 6th of Ramadan, he had wake up in the morning to have suhoor in Jenin. He never finished his food. The house was bombed. Iyaz was killed. I watched like all American in CNN, my body, his body, spilling out of the rubbish. I saw my brother full of his blood. That's the only time I saw him. It's not just that. I want to speak in behalf of all the Palestinians in Jenin and Nablus. I want to condemn the media when they said he's a terrorist. He's a freedom fighter. He's a freedom fighter. He's a hero. He spent all his teenager in prison without sentence. And when he was sentenced for a kid throwing rocks, he was sentenced to 120 years in prison. And when he was released for no crime he committed, he was assassinated within less than 2 years. I wrote a book, it's called My Land, My Brother. It's coming soon by Stanford Press. But I want to tell you, it's not just Iyad. My family all suffered in Jenin. My house was marched in by Israeli soldiers in August. Asked all my dad in wheelchair and my sister and brother to get out of the house without their clothes, barefoot, and was told the house where Iyad was born has to be torn down. And yes, they put bombs in front of my mom and dad and brother and sister eyes, blow the house, put the city under curfew. My family has to stay in the street for hours. Nobody can give them clothes or shoes. My sister begged the Israeli soldier for my dad's wheelchair. They says no. For his walker, they says no. They let him crawl out of his house. The blood in front of our eyes. Yes, we have another house in Jenin now. I still dream of that house. I cannot dream with a new house. My mama is gone. When people ask me, does your children look like you? I say, I don't have a baby picture to know that. My house was gone. My memory was gone. My family was sheltered all over. Years after Iyad was killed, another brother spent years in jail. Another sister spent years in jail. Palestinian, like anybody else, we deserve to live in peace. We deserve. Iyad deserves to be married, to go to college. Iyad deserves to have children he could not have. Okay? All I see every time I'm watching the news, mother and a sister like me losing their brother, their family number. Yes, he died 20 years in Ramadan 6, but it's like yesterday. Every time I watch what's going on in Jerusalem and Jenin and Nablus, tears and memory come. The day I opened CNN and listen to NPR saying Israel just assassinated another Palestinian terrorist, Iyad Sawalha. He's a hero. He lived all his life to see his country free. So free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
بالله بالدم نفديك يا فلسطين!
بالروح بالدم نفديك يا فلسطين!
بالروح
بالدم نفديك يا فلسطين! بالروح
Yes! We need to talk to media! We need to talk to all our politicians! Media, stop calling us terrorists! We're heroes! We're firefighters! We're freedom fighters! Sorry. I am from Nazareth 1948! Became immigrant to Jenin 1948! And now still we're losing our home in Nazareth. We lost our home in Jenin. Where are we gonna go? Yes, they killed one Iyad, but we have another 3 Iyad in our family. 3 other Iyad in our family. And more to come. بالروح بالدم نفديك يا فلسطين. بالروح بالدم نفديك يا أقصى. بالروح بالدم نفديك يا أقصى. Please talk to media, talk to radios, talk to news. We deserve to live like everybody else. We deserve freedom. This is our land. These are our children. They're not terrorists. Thank you very much. Free, free Palestine!
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 Long live Palestine!
Long live Palestine!
From the river to the sea!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will be free!
From the river to the sea!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will be free!
Hands off Al-Aqsa now!
Hands off Al-Aqsa now!
Hands off Al-Aqsa now!
Hands off Al-Aqsa now!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
I'd like to welcome up Ruqayya from Al-Auda, New York.
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Long live Palestine!
Long live Palestine!
Long live Palestine!
Long live Palestine!
Al-Auda, New York condemns the recent escalations by the Zionist settler colonial forces who have stormed and are still storming Al-Aqsa during our holy month of Ramadan. This is not something that just happens during Ramadan. This is an ongoing genocide, ethnic cleansing, and land theft with heightened intimidation tactics, specifically during this month of Ramadan. These intimidation tactics have failed historically, and they will continue to fail. It failed when our Palestinian political prisoners went on a hunger strike right before Ramadan during 2017. It also failed in 2021 when Zionist forces heightened their colonial oppression in Sheikh Jarrah, in Gaza, and also in Al-Quds simultaneously. They were bombing Gaza while expanding illegal settlements by destroying buildings inhabited by Palestinians. And they were storming Al-Aqsa all at the same time during Ramadan. And they were pulled back. They were forced to pull back because of international uproar. This is a reminder to us that we will win, first, because of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and second, because of our people power. It was the thousands who marched, resistance, condemned Israel's colonialism and crimes in Morocco, in Pakistan, in Canada, also in US, and many other cities, which brings hope and perseverance. It is the Palestinian vanguard, which are our freedom fighters and political prisoners who are the future of a liberated Palestine. There's also our martyrs who are honored every day. We remember our heroes, Basil Ararach, Ibrahim Nabulsi, also Sireen's brother, Iyad, and countless others for their bravery, resistance, and resilience. And we stand by them to honor them. And then you have the polar opposite.
opposite, which is why the Zionist entity and state and movement is still standing today. It is no secret how big of a role the U.S. plays in the ongoing Zionist settler colonialism of Palestine. There's $10 million a day in aid and of military to the Israeli occupation forces that they give every single day. We know that the biggest enemy of Palestine is U.S. imperialism. Last year when Biden went to Jerusalem, he not only promised $38 billion in military aid, he promised that if Israel went to war against Gaza or Lebanon, again, the aid would only increase.
Disgusting!
These recent escalations, they are not a coincidence. They are a result of U.S.-Israel relationship and ties. Therefore, it's not just the Zionist entity. We must also resist and organize to dismantle U.S. imperialism and all the enemies and forces against Palestine. And we will continue to applaud the bravery and the resilience of our resistance and freedom fighters who are on the front lines facing the brutal violence committed by the paramilitary colonial forces. While they are resisting in Palestine, we must resist and do our part here. A state founded on racism and oppression will continue to practice oppression and injustice. The racist state of Israel was founded on the dispossession of Native American people.
And it's related to
Martin Luther King said, peace is not just the absence of violence, but the presence of justice. There will never be peace in the region till that injustice is ended, till the Palestinian people have the right to return to their homes and land and live in safe and freedom in every corner of the land of Palestine, from the river to the sea. Palestine will be free from the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Long live 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 the Intifada.
Long live the Intifada.
Intifada, Intifada.
Intifada, Intifada.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
USA, you will see.
USA, you will see.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
USA, you will see.
USA, you will see.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
USA, you will learn.
USA, you will learn.
By the millions will return.
By the millions will return.
USA, you will learn.
USA, you will learn.
By the millions will return.
By the millions will return.
All right. So, what does it mean to get involved in work for Palestine? Being out here today is great. Being out here today and using your voice is critical. But there are also other things that we can do. I want everybody to take out your phones really quick. Open up your IG app, your Instagram app. And I want you to find AMP New Jersey on Instagram. AMP_New Jersey. AMP_New Jersey. By the way, we're going to be quick. We don't have too many other people talking. And then we're going to march. We're going to walk New York City. We're going to walk Times Square. And we're going to be nice and loud. On our IG page, AMP_New Jersey, you'll find our link tree in the bio. The first two things in the link tree are action items. Things that you can do. Messages that you can share with other people and get them to take action. To say that we expect condemnation of the oppression of Palestinian people. And we no longer accept the funding and financing of the oppression of Palestine. I'm going to say it one more time. AMP_New Jersey. In our bio, you'll find our link tree. Check it out. Do the action items. Get involved. Stay involved. I'd like to invite next a great mentor of mine, one of the primary leaders and builders of American Muslims for Palestine, Sayed. Give it up. He deserves a big round of applause. Everybody give it up.
Really nice up here. Assalamu alaikum and peace and blessings upon you all. Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
From the river to the sea!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will be free!
Where people of all faiths, Muslim, Christian, Jewish, or even no faith, can live in peace, not under this Zionist occupation that has no religion. You know, this is the holy month of Ramadan. As usual, these Zionists don't let us celebrate this blessed month. They don't let people even pray. I don't know if you saw the images, people just praying them, pushing them, not even having the sanctity of prayer, or even going into the mosque, trying to have seclusion in the mosque. Even that, they have no sanctity. And then we look at the US government, and Israel, how it pleads to them that they're always the victim. So we really got to bring that news out. We got to wake up the people here in the United States, because a lot of us, we probably see what's going on, but it's the American public, which we are part of. We have to educate them and show them that this is the country where our officials will get up on TV, or some famous people will get up on TV and say the only democracy in the Middle East, or our only true friend in the Middle East. It's as if us Muslims, us Arabs, Palestinians are not even people, that we are animals and that we deserve to die. So we have a lot of work here in the US. Our officials are not going to move if us as people do not move them. And we're seeing the movement growing. People are starting to be educated. People are starting to try to take a neutral position. But it's going to be our job to put more pressure. And it comes from the people power. All the power starts from the people power. It's a vertical power that goes up to the officials. But if we stay quiet and we stay scared, they're going to start passing these anti-BDS laws where you don't even have the freedom to boycott Israel, a country that was founded on boycott. Anybody hear of the Boston Tea Party?
Yes.
What lunacy is this country of Israel, this Zionist state, this lunatic, terrorist, murderous state that has no legitimacy at all. And you can start drawing comparisons to all dictatorships that happen throughout the world. You can start drawing Nazi-like comparisons, where just because you are not Arab, you are not Muslim, you don't deserve to be here. You can be shot dead right in the middle of the day for going and changing your tire. They're thinking you're gonna do something. My village is 10 to 15 minutes from Jerusalem. We actually, before the peace, we were part of Jerusalem. After the peace, they made us part of West Bank. So my uncle, who's been there forever, can't even go to Jerusalem and pray. What kind of lunatic, apartheid, occupation state is this? And then we have people getting on TV and treating them like they're normal, and they're on the side of truth. So it's going to be our job to put that pressure. It's going to be our job to create that awareness. It's going to be our job when leaders come to our spaces, whether it be a mosque or a church or synagogue, to see where they stand on Palestine, where they stand on something that's so black and white to see. It's not, as Bibi says, you know, it's complicated. It's complicated. It's not that complicated. You're killing people while they're praying. There's checkpoints everywhere. What country you see soldiers in army fatigue walking around? This is not a normal state. And our job is to create that awareness. Our job is to keep the pressure up. Our job is to stand in solidarity. Now, some people don't like to get involved in politics. They say politics is dirty. That's up to you. You want to tear the house down? Tear the house down. Just bring out that awareness for Palestine. You want to tear the house down? Let's hear it. Free Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
End the occupation now!
End the occupation now!
I mean, Gaza has been under siege since 2006. 2 borders. What kind of normal state is this? How do these politicians or people that stand for Israel hold a straight face? Are they that dumb or are they that delusional to actually sit there and defend? So when we talk about Palestine, whether it's to my co-workers or at college, great work for Students for Justice for Palestine all across the country, our MSAs, it's our job to create that awareness, whether it's colleges, whether it's at work, and put that pressure on our people that represent us. So when a person gets up in the media and stands, he looks like a clown for trying to defend Palestine, for trying to defend Israel for its lunatic Zionist regime stance. So we are here today to defend Al-Aqsa, create the awareness. We're right here in Times Square. Let Times Square hear you. We're in the biggest spot in the US one more time. Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
End the aid to Israel now!
End the aid to Israel now!
Cut all military aid to Israel now!
Israel now!
When we march, we might have a few more speakers. We want to march in very orderly fashion. We're going to walk in the heart of Times Square, but we want to be very disciplined, like a marching, like an army almost, inshallah, to free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine!
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 I want you guys to give it up for our next speaker, Nate from Palestinian Youth Movement.
Hi everyone, I'm Nai, and I'm from the Palestinian Youth Movement. So we're here today, I know we heard a lot already, but there's just to reiterate some points. So we're here today because for the past 4 days we have witnessed Zionist forces violently invade Al-Aqsa, one of the holiest sites in Jerusalem, during the holy month of Ramadan. The attacks first started on a night when hundreds of Palestinian Muslims were staying overnight in the mosque to pray. During the attack, a health clinic was destroyed and media teams were blocked from accessing the injured. Contrary to Zionist media reports that their occupation forces were responding to quote-unquote rioters, the worshippers in Al-Aqsa were practicing ittikaf, a Ramadan tradition in which Muslims congregate and stay inside mosques overnight to perform prayers. Videos showed Israeli occupation forces attacking Al-Aqsa Mosque with tear gas, stun grenades, and rubber-coated bullets, and beating worshippers with metal chairs, batons, and rifles. The occupation has detained over 400 Palestinians as a result of these incursions. This desecration of one of Jerusalem's holiest sites during Ramadan is not a novelty. It is a yearly occurrence that depicts the brutality of the occupation. This comes under the context of 93 Palestinian martyrs who have been killed since the start of 2023. We Palestinians demand an immediate end to all violence against worshippers in Al-Aqsa Mosque perpetuated by the Zionist occupation, and the release of all Palestinian detained in the raids on Al-Aqsa and all of our political prisoners more broadly. Our youth and our resistance have steadfastly confronted the occupation and resisted against this invasion. And I want to emphasize, this is an invasion. Zionist forces are illegally entering Palestinian land and a Palestinian holy site. Palestinians have an undeniable right to defend themselves and to resist by any means necessary. Resistance is justified when people are colonized.
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 Israel's desperate attempts at escalation, as it faces massive internal contradictions, demonstrates the weakness of their colonial project. As the Zionist entity weakens and is fraught with disunity and fragmentation, the Palestinian resistance presents a unified front. As Israel has begun bombarding Gaza and Lebanon, the resistance continues to demonstrate strength and unity as they take up actions from Lebanon to Palestine against the ongoing Zionist aggression. So again, from Gaza to Lebanon, to the West Bank to Jerusalem, the unity of resistance fronts terrifies the Zionist entity. And as we face this gruesome Zionist escalation, let us not forget that Western imperialism, that unfortunately I'm standing in front of an American flag, but is responsible for Zionism. America continues its brutal support for settler colonialism in Palestine. The Zionist settlement expands every day with funds generated by the American government and so-called tax-deductible charities operating out of New York State. 2 million Palestinians in Gaza remain under conditions of siege in an open-air prison administered by American imperial dollars. We have not forgotten, and we will not forget. How much violence are Palestinians expected to endure before their right to resist is acknowledged? Their right to resist, again, by any means necessary. Why are Palestinians expected to take their oppression in silence? And why do some people only speak of Palestinians' oppression, but denounce or stay silent when it comes to their resistance? We are witnessing a shift in the regional orientation to Palestinian resistance. The legacy of the May 2021 uprisings has shifted the equation from one isolated Palestinian faction versus Zionist forces to multiple unified fronts confronting a broken and internally fragmented entity. Once again, we cannot shout "Free Palestine" and then fall silent when it comes to uplifting resistance and active decolonization. We proudly uplift our people's resistance and commend their steadfastness in the face of colonial aggression until every inch of colonized land is liberated. من المية للمية فلسطين عربية من المية للمية فلسطين عربية Free, free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Thank you.
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
I would like you guys all to give it up for our next speaker, Jack from New York Bodyguard Resistance.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Can I come back, sis?
We're gonna have
All right, y'all, this is the first time I've been up here on a stage like this.
Power to you!
Okay, entonces, hey, so I'm Jack, I'm from New York Boricua Resistance. New York Boricua Resistance stands for the full independence of Puerto Rico from a socialist perspective. We organize here in New York City. We also organize in other locations like Chicago and Seattle and so. As an anti-imperialist organization and also as a settler colony of the United States, NYPR, we recognize that here in the US, we are in the imperial core, right? Against who we are winning. NYPD, we're here in New York City where NYPD has a direct relationship with Israel, engaging in exchange programs, recruiting former Israeli intelligence officers to surveil our communities here and abroad. They're utilizing surveillance technology that's not only developed in Israel, but against our own communities along our borders to our neighbors in the south, right? And they've used this surveillance technology against our own independence movement. As Puerto Ricans, we know what Israel is doing to Palestine and its people is not a fucking apartheid. This is genocide. This is pure genocide. We fully support armed self-defense of both ourselves, our communities, and our homelands. Resistance is not terrorism. We know this because our people have also been bombed, jailed, tortured, tortured and assassinated by both the United States and our own militarized police in Puerto Rico and here in the United States. The people of Vieques rose up in defense of our land against U.S. bomb testing. Right? Our independence leaders have been assassinated in plain sight, along women and children that were celebrating out during the Ponce massacre. This is all genocide. Our women have also been unknowingly sterilized, our families ripped apart through bullshit government programs like the family court system and welfare systems. Our people are beaten and jailed by the same militarized arm of a fascist imperialist settler colony, hell-bent on keeping our land for its resources while eliminating the people, absorbing revolutionary potential and resources through NGOs and the nonprofit industrial complex. Our people are living under racist laws that also deprive us of basic resources like housing, clean water, functioning hospitals, while our people are hungry and diseased, and our land is taken over by some white supremacist laws that take away our land through legal systems, through white people using Airbnb and being encouraged by the United States government itself. Our border is militarized by the United States through the Jones Act, through Congress, and through DHS and United States Federal Armed Forces. We cannot lay down and let colonizers literally kill us, take our land to further exploit and rapidly increase climate change, and further displacing and killing our communities across the global South, the Caribbean, and the Middle East, and in Palestine. We are here because we understand that our struggles are together. The New York Boricua resistance stands in full solidarity with the Palestinian people and for the right for Palestine to exist. So, fuck Israel, fuck the United States, fuck the UN, fuck NATO, fuck the military, fuck the NGOs, fuck Eric Adams and the other Zionists in power.
Tell them!
Fuck the NYPD. And que viva Palestina libre.
All right, so we're gonna set up shortly. We have our banners being set up over there. We're gonna start heading this way. It's gonna be a very short march, but it's gonna be meaningful because we're gonna go through the heart of Times Square this way. So we're gonna go up